guys, so welcome back to my channel. For this video, I just want to give you a breakdown of the cost of the Red Sea Reefer 625X XL setup. And I want to forewarn you that if you haven't purchased your setup yet, that this is going to be a money pit hobby. So this hobby gets pretty expensive depending on the equipment that you want for your setup. But I'm going to break it down what I have on my setup and what it will cost in terms of retail. And that is not including tax or shipping. So let's get right to it. Let's start off first with the Red Sea Reefer tank. That is retail $3,300 for the one with the white stand. The two Atlantic Orphic V4 Gen 2, those were $1,100 each. Light bars by Orphic, 120 millimeter, basically 4 feet long light bar. This is the Blue Plus version. It's $160 each. Orphic Gateway, $75, and you need this to be able to communicate with the Atlantic V4 Gen 2s. I am running a J-Bow 10,000 DC pump, that is $120. I have AI Prime HD for my refugium, that runs about $209. And then I have Phoenix 500 watt heater, that one is $60. I'm running some Reef base rocks, which cost me about $160. I have AI light rails and AI light mount kit, and I am using a combination of the two. And it cost me about $150. The MaxBack XF 350, I have two of them, and that's for my circulation within the display tank, and they run around $350 each. And I'm running the Nios 220 skimmer, which sets me back about $800. And then I have the Reef Octopus CR140 with the Varios pump. This is the calcium reactor, and this cost me $530. I also have the Aquamax GFO and carbon reactor. I have two of them, but I haven't got the chance to hook them up yet. They are $90 a piece. I am running the Aqua UV 57 watt. This runs $479 or $76, so that's $476. I have the AI Prime Soul Blue frag, Soul Blue LED lights for the frag tank. That's around $180. And then I have an Eheim fish feeder, about $25. Some miscellaneous boards and hinges for my false wall where my controllers are mounted to. That was around $50. I do have my manifold set up, and if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. I'll put a link to that in the description below. But that has a few Spears gate valves and some gray tubings and a few other knickknacks. I put that at around $300. And then I do have an Apex system, the Wi-Fi 2016 model. That was around $800. I have two EB8s, so these are the older outlets. I have two of those, so $130 each. I have the Apex PMUP pumps, and I have three of them. One for the ATO setup, and I use two for the water change system. I'm also running the Apex ATO setup and an additional Apex PM1 so that I can use that to monitor the pH of the calcium reactor. I am running the Apex probe holder. That's what's holding the probes inside my sump area. Then I also have, miscellaneous corals, inverts, fishes that I've bought throughout the course of the year. I put that at around $1,000. It's probably more than that. I had a few fish that jumped out and died. Bought two pairs of clownfish, and they were like $200 for the pair. So I know it's way more than $1,000, but I'm being conservative. I also bought a cube. For a smaller cube tank to hold my calcium reactor, just to make sure it does not leak, or if it leaks within that tank itself. So I do have emergency parts and I have a video coming out, or should already be out. So if you haven't seen it, I can put that in the description below, and you can link to that as well. But I do have some spare parts, like my second return pump, a max spec XF 350 that I have as a spare pump, a Reef Octopus Varios 2 pump, spare pump for the calcium reactor in case that one goes. I have some 2 J-Bow RW4 pumps for circulation. I have barrels of reef crystals and a box of reef crystal, the 200-gallon setup box. Also instant ocean saltwater box as well. And then I spent money on some chemicals for the tank setup, also Microbacter 7, amino acids, copper, test kits. I also have a 29-gallon QT tank setup with lights, pumps, filtration. And then I have a water changing station outside. And there is two 32-gallon trash bin in there, along with a RODI unit. And they're all sitting inside a kind of like a trash bin housing. So they all sit inside that housing so that the actual RODI and the trash bins don't get wet. And I have a backup. Actually, I have a few backup heaters just in case the Phoenix that I have goes bad. And I have an extra J-Bow pump for the frag tank. Now, I also still have miscellaneous parts and pieces and tubings and other stuff in my tote in the garage, but I'm not going to go through that. But overall, I put myself at about a little over $14,000 invested. Mind you, I'm not even counting the Honda generator that I bought, which is like, I think $1,200 or something like that. But this is to give you an idea of the cost if you were to set up your own tank, something similar to what I have here. And this doesn't even include the labor, all the trial and error, all the salt water changes that I had to do, you know, your electricity, your water bill, things like that. This is merely the equipment, purchasing the equipment to get you started. And I mean, you can go cheaper and not have all the bells and whistles. You can go even cheaper in terms of circulation and return pumps. But I think I'm in the middle tier. I'm not invested heavily in, you know, the best of the best in terms of equipment, but I think they're adequate. And I do plan on changing some things out every a few years just to test out new pumps and to test out new lights. So this is what I have put in so far. I'm going to forewarn you, this is a money pit hobby. It's going to drain your wallet. So really consider, you know, think about it. Wait a few days before you jump into this hobby. But I could tell you this, though, that it is just a great way to spend your evenings and just keep you occupied, to keep you busy, and it puts a smile on your face when you can see that your corals are growing and they're thriving and your fishes are fat and happy. The good thing about this is that it forces you to also learn about water chemistry. So you're going to take some time and you're going to be learning all about your phosphates, your nitrates, your alkalinity, magnesium. There are a slew of other chemicals that you would need to know in order to somewhat balance out your water parameters to ensure that your corals survive and thrive. But there is a lot to learn in this hobby. Also, at the same time, though, you get to meet new people and share the experience with them. So overall, I mean, I'm enjoying the hobby right now. I've been in and out of the hobby for the past, since 2000, so about 20 years now. And things have changed. So before then, it was all about you know, T5s and metal halide. And then when I got back in, right now, it's all about LEDs and DC pumps. So time has changed. It looks like things are getting better. Things are getting more efficient, but then these parts cost more. So something to think about. But overall, I would say spent over 14,000 already based on my numbers here. If I could do it again, I might go with a smaller setup. I don't know, but I picked this one because they actually fit right in between my two windows in my living room. So anyhow, I just want to share this with you. Think twice before you jump into the hobby. If you have money to spare, then this would be a great hobby to get into. But if you're limited on funds, start off slow, maybe something smaller, build your way up. Make sure in 1-2 years, if you still like this hobby, then you go ahead and invest into something larger. Anyhow, thanks for stopping by. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. Like always, if you enjoy this video, it would be nice if you could subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification so that whenever I release a new video, you will be notified. Again, I just want to thank you for stopping by, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.